dari Komplek Balai Budaya Minomartani Ngaglik Sreng. Inilah Radio BBM, Jaringan Radio Komunitas Yogyakarta.
Radio Komunitas Balai Budaya Minomartani. Radio Budaya, Radio Warga, Radio Kita Bersama.
...107,7 Radio Komunitas BBM FM. Hai warga budaya, gimana nih kabarnya? Semoga selalu sehat dan bahagia ya. Kembali lagi bersama aku Tata
dan aku Bendina
di siaran
Global Chain.
Oke, mungkin warga budaya mendengar suara baru ya kali ini. Nah, mungkin kita langsung kenalan aja nih sama penyiar baru kita.
Nah, halo warga budaya, kenalin nama aku Bendina dan di sini aku bakal nemenin Kak Tata buat Global Chain kali ini nih.
Oke, salam kenal Bendina.
Salam kenal juga Kak Tata.
Oke, nah bukan hanya itu ya warga budaya. Hari ini di siaran Global Chain kali ini kita juga punya guest yang sangat menarik nih.
Siapa tuh Kak?
Siapa tamu kita yang istimewa banget nih buat
ya,
hari ini?
Istimewa banget pastinya.
Oke.
Langsung aja gak sih kita?
Oke. Please welcome Yana
Run.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Good afternoon, Yana. How are you today?
I'm very good actually.
It's really nice to have you here. Thank you very much for coming to our home.
Yeah. Thank you for coming to Indonesia and also to Jogja and especially to our BBM radio. And maybe can you introduce more about yourself?
So I'm from Holland. I live in Amsterdam right now, and I'm traveling through Indonesia for 3 months, and I think now I'm here for almost 8 weeks. 8 weeks, yes. So I've been traveling through Sumatra first for 5 weeks, yeah. And then I came to Java and went to Bandung, Pangandaran, and now I'm here in Yogyakarta almost for more than a week.
More than a week?
Yeah, more than a week, and I'm very happy to be here. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy to having you here. So actually, you say that you come from Holland. Could you tell me what's the most interesting part of your hometown?
So where I live now in Amsterdam, I think what is really interesting and nice that Amsterdam consists of a lot of different people, different cultures, there's a lot of diversity, and yeah, it's something I really value and enjoy as well.
But did you ever feel like a culture shock when you first come to Indonesia, Yana?
I did actually. So because I do have, like, my father is born in Indonesia in 1950 in Padang, Sumatra.
Padang.
Yeah, and so his family was mostly Dutch, but my grandmother has some Javanese blood. So when I was young, I kind of had this connection with Indonesia, or like I romanticized Indonesia, like, oh, whoa, I'm so excited to go there and I want to visit. And maybe when I come there, then there's this instant connection, and people will maybe see me as one of them. But when I came here, the biggest culture shock was that people don't see me like one
like
of them.
Indonesians.
Yeah. I came here, I was like, whoa, like how in some parts of Indonesia, people maybe are not really used to like white people, or like I was kind of, or everyone was looking at me and or want to have pictures, and it felt a bit weird for me at first, but then and then at some point I kind of like was like, okay, I'm just gonna take this picture with people. But like so that was one thing where I was a bit like, oh, I don't really know how to handle it. But the nice, like, let's say a nice culture shock was like how kind people are here, and so helpful and friendly, and the way how people feel like Indonesian people are really how do you say it?
Friendly?
Really skilled in life, or really like practical, very creative as well, but very handy. You know?
Yeah.
And in Holland,
right.
I don't know, in the in my country, for instance, I don't really know how to make. Yeah, when I was in Sumatra, I was more also in the countryside, and I feel like almost everyone knew how to make a fire, and how to, for instance, I don't know, cut wood or something. And I feel like in Holland, there's like everything is, you can buy it in the store, or you can ask someone to do it for you. And here it's more like, I don't know if you can recognize it.
So talk about cooking or food. So what's your favorite food, like in Holland and also in Indonesian? You say like your mother is from Java?
So my grandmother, yeah.
Grandmother.
Yeah.
So before you go to Indonesia, have you also tasted like Indonesian food or something?
Yeah, definitely. So because my father learned how to cook from his mother, so my grandmother, and we ate a lot of gado-gado.
Gado-gado.
Yeah, sambal goreng tempe, I think it's. And what else? Yeah, nasi goreng, of course, and satay ayam, sayur lodeh, like these kind of dishes. Yeah, and I really love the Indonesian.
How about rendang? Do you ever taste rendang?
Yeah, before I did, yeah.
And is it too spicy for you, or?
I think because I'm quite used to eat a bit spicy in Holland, it was not too spicy for me. But I definitely eat food here that can be too spicy, or that I think like, oh, this is okay, but then like the next morning you kind of feel your stomach a bit because my stomach is not used to it. But yeah, so I guess the Indonesian standard of spicy is for me.
Different.
It's really different compared to Holland. Yeah,
it's always happened. So whenever like a foreigner comes to Indonesia and I ask them like, do you like spicy? They will say yes. And after that, I try to make them taste our sambal. And after that, like, no spicy.
Like not at all. I always say when they ask spicy, I say sedikit.
Yeah.
Like a little bit.
Talking about your hometown, is there any special ceremony or like traditions in your hometown? So
like I was thinking about this. and there are some traditions there that are typically Dutch. For instance, when a baby is born, and it's like let's say you eat these thick kind of crackers with butter, and then with sprinkles in colors, and it's like when it's a boy, then the sprinkles are white and blue, and when it's a girl, it's white and pink. So this is like a typical thing what we do when a kid is born. And in Holland, the birthday of the king is very important, or we celebrate that on King's Day, and then everyone is dressed in orange, and they in orange.
Do you know why it's orange?
It's the color from Holland, and the king is called Prins Willem Alexander. King Willem Alexander van Oranje. Like the oranje means orange, so it's like the
national color.
Traditional color. Yeah.
Interesting.
And do you ever go to Indonesian ceremony or festival when you were in Indonesia?
Yeah, so in Sumatra, I went to a ceremony of the Mentawai tribe in the Mentawai Islands, and it was a ceremony like a sacrifice of a pig and some chicken. It was kind of the bridal gift from the groom side of the family for the bride. And there we saw like this offering or this like slaughtering process, and it was very let's say special, or I don't know, it was I sat there, I switched off my emotions because it was quite difficult to see all these see like a pig getting slaughtered and like cut open.
A bit shocking, right?
Yeah, quite. And so but I also went in Pangandaran. I went to a ceremony or like celebration of the circumcising from a Muslim boy, with the
Khitanan?
Yeah,
it's like so. Sunat.
I'm not sure if the circumcision. Yeah. And there was like traditional Sundanese dance, and they danced there, and we could also join. It was very special as well too.
So, are you also joining the dance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
I tried to because at some point it got a bit more difficult. They also said like, this part is for more advanced. More advanced dancers or people that
Yeah, I agree with you. Some of Indonesian dancing, it's kind of hard, but when we see it, it's look like it's so easy. But when we do it, it's like, oh my god, how to do it?
Exactly, and I think that's the beauty of it. Or then to make it look easy.
That's right.
So I'll talk about dance. I heard that it's dancing is like one of your hobbies, or you have like another hobbies too.
So dance is my hobby and also my profession actually. And I think it was my main hobby my whole life. But I also really enjoy playing music a bit, and I sing, but let's say sing in the shower, or I sing like.
I think we all did that.
Yeah. And I try to get more comfortable with singing, like I don't know, with other people. So I play a bit ukulele and sing a bit with it. But like my main hobby is dance and write poetry a bit, like.
So, how did you start your hobbies? Like, how do you find it? Is it like since you were in childhood, or you just go to like a dance class or something?
Yeah, it was actually since childhood. I just listened to a lot of music, and I just started dancing when I was really young, like 3 or 4 years old. And then at some point my mom was like, you can also go to dance class. So I started with classical ballet, and then at some point I did jazz dance, and every time I saw like a new kind of dance style, I was like, oh, and that I liked, I was like, oh, I want to do this. So I did quite different types of dance styles. And I think that like I also did gymnastics next to it, but like dance was my main hobby actually. Yeah.
Do you have any difficulties when you do dancing?
Yeah. I at first, like when I started with dancing, I was mostly dancing choreography. So I learned choreographies from the teacher, and we did it. And I also did a lot of competitions back then, and that was quite some pressure sometimes. Like you really had to do every movement correctly and very precise. And at some point I didn't really like this so much anymore. You know, I felt this pressure was a bit too much sometimes. And then when I started doing dance education, I got to know improvisation. And at first it was really difficult to me because I was so used to dancing choreographies. And then suddenly you had to dance.
You make your own dance.
Yeah, like on the spot also, like just move. There's like a music on and then you have to dance on it. And for me that was, I don't know, very difficult in the beginning. And you get these insecurities like, am I doing it well enough? And what do people think of me? And I think that's like something that was very difficult sometimes. Yeah.
So how you face on this problem? Like, at first you think like it's difficult, but now you also like still being like a dancer, right?
Yeah.
So why and how it happened?
So the funny thing is that now I actually love improvisation, and I find choreography more difficult because I really like now that you can, with improvisation, just do whatever you want, and there's no guideline or
Standards.
Yeah. And of course, with different dance styles, for instance, hip hop dance, house, popping, locking, those are dance styles that are they have a base, like of a foundation of dance steps that you learn when you start learning these styles, and then they give you the freedom to experiment with these dance steps, so you can make your own variations. So I think that was for me a very nice way to first build this base, and from there learn to create my own movements, and then at some point you can also let go of this. So that's
interesting.
It takes some time, you know. It's not that easy to, but now like nowadays I'm teaching improvisation classes where there's not necessarily this base of certain steps that you have to know before you improvise with it, but I give like let's say concepts or ways you can move. You experienced it in the dance workshop.
Yes.
Like for instance, you say, then I said like, okay, imagine that the air of let's say the space around you is a canvas, and draw with different body parts on this canvas. So then you learn to move different body parts, and you can explore with it. Like it's more a playful way of improvisation. Yeah.
Fun fact, Kak Tata, I ever joined in Yana class. I think last week. And it was really fun. I think everyone should experience it once in their life. It feels like we're in the freedom. We can express our feelings. That's really nice.
You also do like the improvisation dance.
Yeah, and Yana teach us really well.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And what the best things that you find in dancing that makes you fall in love in dancing?
What made me fall in love? The thing was, when I was younger, I had a really hard time to express myself with my voice. Like I had a really hard time. Also, I hated presentations. It's like, I have to learn. Yeah, I don't know. presenting in front of a group of people, I was like nerve-wracking to me. Yeah. And I always like, stuttering. I was like, I couldn't find words. But then dance was always away from, or that was my way to express myself. I felt really comfortable in dancing, like being on a stage, dancing for 200 people. Sure, that was that felt really comfortable for me. And I think because it was so hard for me to express myself with my voice, that my body
Express it.
Yeah, I think every kind of arts like painting or dancing or maybe singing is like a way to express ourselves. It's like the best way, and we can choose like which one is like suit us.
Yeah, I agree.
I think dance is like one of your talents or your favorite ways to express your feelings. Yeah, maybe some of us maybe like we are more comfortable with like writing, or maybe some of us also have a talent for singing. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I also like saw this value or in the last few years, where I also felt like, there's more ways than just dance to express yourself. And I also like write a bit and make a bit of music, and I now try to combine these things. So not just dance, but also use poetry.
Oh yeah,
Because I think, of course, I think all the art forms you can execute them separately, or they can exist separately, but actually they're always connected. Connected. Actually, you can dance. You can dance without music, but dance is how do you say it? Like music makes you dance.
Yes,
on the other hand, it can't really exist without each other. It's like this.
So art is not just a performance, ya Kak. So it's art more like a coping mechanism for some people.
Yeah.
It's really nice to know that you can express your feeling through dance.
It can even be really a way of healing as well. And then I think it's very important, and that's why what I really like about Indonesia, how you're so or how most schools really see this importance of how do you say it, to maintain like the culture, but also practice dance or music, and that it's part of your curriculum as well. That you
that's part of our curriculum. So actually, when I was in junior high school, we have like art class, and for the first year is like about painting, and the second year is about like dancing, and the third year is about music. So we can experience all the things like about arts, related to arts.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, and in Holland we also have in high school and also elementary school, we do get like music classes and bit of drawing and painting, but I feel like
dance.
It's not dance. It's not so much. There are some schools that have dance also in their curriculum, and I feel like it's growing a bit now. People start to see the importance of dance as well, but it's still, it's still
not
on the
Okay, I think that's a very interesting like insight, and it's also interesting to hear about your hobbies and like about your hometown too. And we also still have like many questions, right?
Yes, that's right, Kak Tata. But before we move on to the next question, we will have a little break. So Yana can take a drink and relax.
Yeah, and us too.
You are too, of course. Yeah.
And jadi warga budaya juga bisa nih relaksasi dulu, minum-minum dulu sambil nungguin kita selesai break. Bener nggak tuh Kak Tata?
Benar. Oke,
jadi tunggu sebentar lagi, kita bakal lanjut setelah break yang satu ini. Hai warga budaya, kembali lagi nih di siaran Global Chain. So Yana, can we continue our talk?
Definitely.
Okay, so after talking about dancing, I was curious, have you ever take like a special class for learn dancing, or you take a major in your university or something like that?
So I studied dance actually.
Wow.
Yeah. So but when I already took dance classes when I was very young. But at some point I was following these dancers on YouTube. The Culture Kids. It's a group of hip hop dancers.
Yeah, autodidact.
Yeah, and they did a dance education, urban dance education, and I looked it up and was like, oh whoa. I also want to do this, so it was kind of my dream to do this urban dance education. So after I was a bit in doubt, like, should I do this? Because I was, studying in high school for university. I was like, I should go to university and do a more academic or theoretical studies. But then a friend told me, like, just do audition. So I was like, yeah, of course, why not? And then I auditioned and I got in. So I did this urban dance education for 3 years, and then after that I didn't feel ready for the working field. So I was like, maybe I could do another education. So then I auditioned for the bachelor dance in education. So dance teacher.
Dance teacher.
Like, how many years for
4
the bachelor?
years.
4 years.
4 years. Yeah.
So it's like 7 years.
In 7 years in total, yeah. So I did a lot of studies
About dancing.
in dance, yeah.
So yeah, you mentioned that your family also support you to do like they even ask you maybe you can join like some dance classes like your mom.
Yeah, my mom told me. Yeah.
So they always support you to do like.
Yeah, and at first when I told them that I wanted to do a dance education, they were at first like, oh, okay. They thought like, oh, maybe it's a bit of a shame that you because my high school was 6 years, so like and then you go do dance education. They were a bit first like surprised, but after that they were like, yeah, but if you want to do this, if this is what you love to do, then just go for it. So yeah, they have been always really supportive.
It's lovely that knowing that your mothers and your family really support you.
Yeah, because actually in Indonesia sometimes our parents expect us to do like something about medical or maybe about I don't know, it's more about like academic things, not about arts. When it comes to art, if the family background isn't art too, some of parents maybe like forbid their kids to do like the arts, especially for like bachelor or for like the highest educations.
Yeah.
So is your family background also art or not?
Well, my father played some guitar,
Cool.
but he's not like an artist or anything. And I think I think I'm one of the only people in our family that actually studied something with art. So yeah, I don't really know from where I got it from. Maybe it's this little Indonesian blood in me that was like, oh, I want to be busy with art, or if I don't really know, to be sure, but I know, like, next to my mom, my father was really supportive. He was always like being present at dance performances, competitions. So I did feel a lot of support. So I'm very grateful that I had this support from my family, because I can imagine how hard it is if you have this dream of studying, or how do you say it, continuing with arts as your profession, and you don't get support. That it's hard.
It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
So it's so like gratefully your parents, I think they love you so much. And you mentioned that you do you did join some competitions. How was it like? Do you start join it like the competitions in your child? Since you were a child, or you were young, or
I was 8 when I started to do competitions.
8?
Yeah, 8 years old.
8 years old.
Yeah, and it was with a group of, and it was with jazz dance style. Jazz dance, yeah.
Oh my god.
And it was quite, so from a young age I kind of learned to be very like precise in my movement, and really to really, I did what I told you before already. It was quite a pressure, and at some point I noticed like the fun was gone a bit, so I had to and then I found out more, like I saw some dancers doing street dance, street dance hip hop, and was like, whoa, this is so cool. But I also joined a competition group
for the street dance.
Yeah, but I think it's especially with when arts is your profession. So I think it doesn't matter if you're playing music or dance or poetry, that at some point you can forget, or at least in my own experience, you sometimes forget why you started with dancing, because you're gonna study it, then you get, I think, more pressure, or that's what I experienced. They kind of expect you to grow in a way and fit in a certain
and there's
box.
some standards too.
And for me that was sometimes pretty difficult, and also knowing that there's a lot of good dancers, and you kind of, it becomes your job, so you have to, there's a lot of competition within the education as well, or depends. I was quite lucky in my education that there was not so much competition between people, but there's definitely, when you want to like as a dance performer, it's pretty difficult to get a job. You have to audition for companies, or if you want to dance in a commercial or as a background dancer, you always have to do auditions and have to prove yourself every time. So it can be really exhausting, or like difficult, and sometimes you forget like, oh wait, but I actually dance because I enjoy it, because it's fun, and I think it's with arts really important that you keep practicing it also in a way where you're not focusing on, oh, I have to earn money with it, but also just do it because you enjoy. So
that's nice. And if I'm not mistaken, that you are now doing teaching for Rediscover Me.
That's correct.
And can you explain to us and our listener about Rediscover Me, a bit about Rediscover Me?
Yes, of course. So Rediscover Me is organization that facilitates inclusive dance classes and projects as well. And when I was in my last year of the Bachelor of Dance in Education, I did my internship at Rediscover Me.
Yeah.
And the founder of Rediscover Me is called Damar Lamers, and she was a teacher in my education. And we had this I interviewed her actually for my essay, and we noticed that our visions were really aligned. Then she said, like, I think I have a spot for you in my organization to do an internship. So I was teaching for half a year there, and then I started working there as well. And it's a very beautiful community where everyone is welcome, and it's like it's inclusive. So that means that I like to say everybody. So it doesn't matter what your cultural background is, what your how do you say it? If you have let's say disabilities or physical challenges, mental challenges, like everyone is welcome, and we focus on creating the safe space where everyone can kind of discover how they like to move or how they're able to move, and in that way connect with themselves and with each other.
Oh, so cool.
And what that make you trust yourself to like doing internship and starting your career in Rediscover Me?
Can you repeat one time again?
What makes Rediscover Me different and make you want to doing your career there in Rediscover Me?
I think the first reason why I love Rediscover Me so much and is that at first it was the vision of Damar and me that really aligned, because I want to connect people through dance and make dance also accessible for everyone. And I think that's really connected with Damar as well. And the moment I started joining the dance classes, at first I observed and participated, and later I started teaching, and I immediately felt home. I think this and I think Rediscover Me or this community is one of the very few places where I can really feel I can be myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because at first you feel like dance. At first it feel like kind of pressure or give you a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But and when you met Rediscover Me, we feel like it's like the most comfortable space.
Yeah. And it's so valuable and special to dance with, like like the age is also very
the ages too.
There's you have people from I didn't join kids, but like there are people from 18 until 65 70, and it's so beautiful, like the connections you make with other people, like through just using your body as a communication communication tool.
I can feel the warmth until here.
Yes. Feel like dance. Just feel like we have our own body and express ourselves. It's feel like I can imagine that place. Like it's kind of freedoms.
Yeah. I think
what a
that's
lovely
a good
community.
word. Yeah, I'm very grateful to be part of it.
And what kind of activity that you and Rediscover Me people usually do there? I mean, is there any like a performance or?
So next to this, there's a class every Saturday in the morning, and it's actually at the academy where I studied, but every year depends if the organization gets funding, but there's a process for a performance. So usually then in the afternoon, I was part of 2 performances now where I assisted in the choreographic process, but also I was also performing.
Oh yeah,
and
nice.
Like I facilitated on the floor and also see what is needed for the participants, but also for the choreographers. And we had an inclusive dance event in June, if I'm not mistaken. I have no, yeah, in June.
June.
And that was really nice. And it's just a moment for the participants to, share what they experienced in that last year. And then it's a lot about, we do have set choreography, but it's also really about the intention and the connection on stage and sharing their story. So they get the opportunity to share their story on stage.
And to express their feelings too.
And in a way what suits their body they're like one of the main choreographers this year and the year before was Maxie Hill. And then there's always another. Damar Lamers was one of the choreographers last year, and then this year was Anneloes van Schuppen. And I think they really are very good in how do you say it? Look for the strength or use the strength of all the different dancers and put that on stage, so they are in their power, let's say.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're also doing a research for your solo performance. Can you tell us about it?
Definitely, yeah. So, I think this is like I don't want to. Usually, I'm not sure if I would share, but like when my father passed away in 2017, from that.
Sorry for that.
Oh, thank you. But from that moment on, especially dance came a way for me to express my emotions, and because I didn't really know how to share it, with people while talking, so and that really helped me also to deal with emotions and to move on. But from the moment he died, I kind of got more interested in staying connected, or I felt actually the necessity to stay connected with my Dutch Indonesian background. Culture and background, because I felt like I didn't know so much about my dad and about my ancestors, but I knew there was a whole history and of course also the history of Holland and Indonesia is very complicated as well and very broad. And my family, so because they were a mix, that was also a bit more complicated, it's a whole story. But so I'm kind of researching that for myself now, and I've been like the last years talking with my family a lot, and I noticed I really once I made this solo performance about the loss, the grief of my dad, or my father's loss, and I noticed I actually also want to make a solo performance about my connection with Indonesia. Indonesia, the Dutch Indonesian culture, and my connection with Indonesia, and how my family is related to Indonesia and their history, the traumas that they had from the war, and because I feel there's like a lot of pain still in emotions that are not shared, and I feel that I also carry it somehow with me. So I have this how to say it, this vision of transforming this pain into like a light, and see the beautiful things of Indonesia as well, but also not sticking too much to this
like the past.
To see how I can transform it for my ancestors and for myself, and create this healthy connection with Indonesia. And so that's why I'm here now for longer, and I really want to see if what's my connection with Indonesia. Can I feel home? Connect with the people, with you guys, and really just create this equal like feel that we're equal and there's no hierarchy in, and like, Dutch are better than Indonesians and other way around. I think for me that's really important to feel that we're equal and embrace the differences, but also the similarities.
Yes.
And after Jogja, do you have any plan to go somewhere again in Indonesia?
So I have a plan, but I'm also quite flexible in my plans. But I have a friend who lives in Bali, and he organizes an event, Voices Unleashed, that is also organized in Holland, and I performed there once with a spoken word artist. That's a funny thing, Kevin Groen, and he has the same last name as the same. He's from Korea, actually.
He's from Korea.
Yeah, and he also has a very interesting story. So it was a very nice, very beautiful opportunity that we could perform together. But then, so this event is also happening in Bali, and I really want to go there to maybe perform or see what kind of collaboration can happen.
Yes.
So that's the next plan, but I don't really know when I'm going.
I hope it can
I hope that your wish could become true.
As soon as possible.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And I hope you can also find the equal that you said before, and you can express it with your personal projects or your. I cannot wait to see
Me too. I really want to see you perform. Oh my God, it's really beautiful.
Yeah,
I
I think it would be lovely to be able to perform it here. So maybe let's tell Miss Davy maybe I can perform here when who knows what the future brings. I think I'm definitely coming back for sure.
Yes.
Really,
Or maybe you can just send us a video.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that would
after
be great.
You finish all your research and make your own choreographers. I think it's really interesting, the equal about us together. I think I cannot wait just to watch
I can't wait for it. Yeah, it's true. And thank you so much, Hiano, for your time, for telling us a lot of your story and being our inspiration. Also, I hope our listener also can take the insightful that you gave to us too. And I hope all your plan is going to running well. I can't wait to see your solo performance and other Rediscover Me performance also.
Actually, we still have many things to talk, and we also want to share many cultures or many experience too. But because here we have a limited time in this program, so I think
maybe we can talk in backstage.
Yeah. Talk further. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was really a pleasure.
Okay. Do you have something to say before we close this program for our listeners?
Terima kasih banyak.
Thank you so much.
Annie. Terima kasih juga warga budaya yang sudah mendengarkan siaran Global Chain hari ini.
Dan apabila juga tidak lupa mengucapkan terima kasih kepada staf-staf atau kru yang bertugas. Di sini ada Johan sebagai operator, dan tentunya juga ada Zia dan ada Mbak Habibah juga seperti biasa yang di belakang begitu ya.
Di belakang gitu ya.
Iya, terus kita juga mau meminta maaf jika ada salah-salah kata ataupun ucapan, atau mungkin kita ada yang salah
salah lah pokoknya ya.
Iya, gitu deh. Oke, jadi segitu dulu siaran hari ini. Sampai jumpa di siaran berikutnya.
Bye-bye warga budaya.
Dari Komplek Balai Budaya Minomartani Ngaglik Sreng, inilah Radio BBM, jaringan radio komunitas Yogyakarta.
Dipancarkan dari kawasan Balai Budaya Minomartani, Radio Komunitas BBM FM.